Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another Monday night Facebook Live. My name is Laura Betts. I am founder and facility director of Hyperbaric RX here in South Florida. And I do Facebook Lives every Monday night. So whether you're one of our Andy certified hyperbaric facilities looking for some tips and tricks to help support your patients, or you are interested in hyperbaric oxygen therapy, or you're considering doing hyperbaric oxygen therapy here with us at Hyperbaric RX, or you're already one of our amazing clients right now, welcome, welcome, welcome. The hyperbaric industry is very specialized, and not many people are mixed gas diving instructors like myself. Not many people have a foundation in partial pressure calculations. Now, partial pressure calculations are really important to a scuba diver because if you go too deep and stay too long, well, and then come up too fast, that's how scuba diving injuries happen. And I've spent more than a couple decades learning how to prevent scuba diving injuries and learning how to safely perform very high risk, high degree of logistics, mixed gas scuba dives. So when I transitioned from diving medicine to hyperbaric medicine, I was very surprised at how such an important fundamental piece of information was missing, that there's a disconnect there. And most people don't know that hyperbaric systems can deliver different dosages. What even is dosage? So it's a very interesting thing, and interesting all the way around. And I am going to share a whole bunch of information with you this evening on the topic. So again, we do Facebook Lives every Monday at 6 o'clock. And this is an opportunity for you to ask our oxygen experts questions real time in the chat. And of course, this information is always provided for general information purposes, and it's good stuff for you. And of course, if any products are mentioned, they're not intended to treat, diagnose, cure, or prevent any disease. Again, we're providing this for general information purposes to give you some tips and tricks. All right, so tonight's topic is the 3 most important things in hyperbaric medicine. And I'm going to give you a little peek inside in some of the Andy training materials. But before I go ahead and get into that, last week I did a deep dive into how many hyperbaric sessions you need. I talked a little bit about a personalized dive plan. I talked about why that's so important, why the number of sessions in a block. It's a great video, whether you are a hyperbaric practitioner or a hyperbaric chamber operator or somebody just interested in hyperbaric. There are reasons why not everybody has the same experiences with hyperbaric oxygen therapy. And I want to make sure that you have the information so that you're armed with knowledge. And when you are doing hyperbaric oxygen therapy, it's being done in a way that is creating the absolute best opportunity for efficacy. So again, for those of you that are just joining us or haven't had an opportunity to meet you, again, my name is Laura Betts. I am founder and facility director of Hyperbaric RX down here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And we service clients from all over the world. In addition to being a destination location, people come here to South Florida specifically to do blocks of hyperbaric oxygen therapy. We also do telehealth. We have people that we're supporting that have their own systems. We have people that we're supporting that doing hyperbaric at another site. And we have people that we're just doing essentially natural health programs for them to give them information on how to balance their body, naturally balance their body in a drug-free way and maintain that. So very nice there. We are located, by the way, in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So we encourage you to come out. And part of the reason why I have so much information to share is I do sit on two medical boards. I'm a longtime member of the Andy Diving and Hyperbaric Medical Board. I am also vice president of substance abuse programming and protocol integration for the International Hyperbaric Medical Foundation. If you know somebody that's interested in hyperbaric oxygen therapy, this is an opportunity for them to ask us questions real time in the chat. We love that you guys are coming out and joining us, and it's really amazing. So again, thank you so much for coming out and joining us this evening. All right, so let me go ahead and get into our topic. And as I mentioned, the three most important things in hyperbaric medicine, they are dosage, dosage, and dosage. That's right. The three most important things in hyperbaric medicine are dosage, dosage, and dosage. This is so important that it says it in the Andy textbooks. It's in the Andy training information. Many of these switches, these trigger points in the body, are highly dosage dependent. Now, is a little oxygen good? Yeah, because so many cells in our body use oxygen to do their job. I've talked about the different roles that oxygen plays in so many functions of our body. Our body has about 6,000 expressions a second that just involve the oxygen component alone. But when we're trying to fix something, when we're trying to repair something, when we're trying to heal something, when we're trying to elicit a specific chemical reaction in the body, these things are highly dosage dependent. And what do I mean by dosage? Well, dosage is a relationship. And this is another really important reason why you need to make sure that your hyperbaric oxygen therapy is being administered by a certified chamber operator. And what I thought tonight is I thought I would go over a post that I actually saw on a message board. And I see this all the time. And to me, I look at that and I can calculate the dosage pretty easily. And sometimes I can even do it in my head. But I realize that the comments that were being responded continue to demonstrate that essentially this industry, for the most part, does not know how to calculate dosage. And part of the reason why that happened is when diving medicine transitioned to hyperbaric medicine, they were using 100% oxygen with no dilution. So in that sense, depth and dosage were equal. But in hyperbaric medicine, there are all of these different variables. And the role of the certified chamber operator is to take those variables into account and make sure that they are duplicating the target dosage. When you're reading a study about, let's say, 2.0 ATA, that's not pressure. That's dosage, and it's dosage of a specific partial pressure of oxygen that's being inhaled. In the Andy training system, we call this PO2 at bibs. That's the partial pressure of oxygen at the built-in breathing system. And most people are not a walking oxygen analyzer. Some of the Andy instructor trainers, no joke, you can have them breathing on oxygen, not tell them they're on oxygen, change the gas to another gas, and they can tell you that you just changed the gas. They notice the difference. And in some cases, they can tell you the difference right down to a close percentage of how much oxygen. So in Andy programs, we'll use Safe Air 32, we'll use Safe Air 36, we'll use Safe Air 50. And they can tell you which one it is. It's really amazing. But most people aren't experienced mixed gas divers. Most people don't have a lot of experience with slight changes in gas density differentials. Most people aren't sensitive to that. Most people are like yourself, and they are trusting the chamber operator. They are assuming that they are properly administering the modality. And that assumption is more often than not wrong. So dosage is actually a relationship. It's not just the target pressure of the chamber. That's only one factor. Dosage also takes into account the percentage of oxygen in the oxygen supply source. Now, if somebody is using 100% gaseous oxygen, the dosage math is not the same if they're using an oxygen concentrator. If the person that is administering the hyperbaric oxygen, the chamber operator, is working with a configuration, they need to take into account what percentage of oxygen is the oxygen concentrator delivering. I have done service calls on oxygen concentrators that were making less than 60%. Well, if the goal is 100% of dosage, and we're only delivering 60% FO2, the percentage of oxygen in the breathing mixture is only 60%. Well, this is a problem. This isn't the same thing as if we were breathing on an oxygen concentrator that was delivering 94% or 93%. Those, by the way, aren't the only factors. In an air environment, and by the way, most hyperbaric chambers are pressurized with air. Every chamber that is designed for more than one person, every multi-place chamber fills with air, what's around us right now, and the oxygen is administered through some type of built-in breathing system. Most hyperbaric chambers pressurize with air and require some type of mask, some type of regulator, some type of built-in breathing system in order to deliver oxygen. And not only do these systems require a type of built-in breathing system, different masks have different numbers. So, for example, if we're using a non-rebreather mask, I'm going to pull out my training samples here. So if we're using a non-rebreather mask that has a bag on the bottom, this mask delivers quite a bit more than a nasal cannula. And let's see, what else we got? And this mask, as an example, this mask seals on the face. So we've got a mask that seals versus a mask that has some leakage. And this mask has a different number than this mask. And part of the goal of the chamber operator is to make sure that we're using the right numbers for the built-in breathing system. But wait, there's still another factor. Dosage is a relationship of 4 factors. And we could have the right target pressure setting. We could know the FO2, the fractional equivalent of oxygen in the breathing mixture. We could know the type and efficiency of the built-in breathing system. But the last piece in this is something called RMV, respiratory minute volume. So even with the first 3, if we weren't supplying enough flow to the mask, then the person breathing on this mask starts breathing in the surrounding gas. In this case, the surrounding gas is air, and air only has 21% oxygen in it. So here's a real scenario, and here's the problem. This is why this starts to get so important. So in this particular example, the person believes that they are diving at a dosage of 2.0 ATA PO2 at bib. So that's dosage. That's partial pressure of oxygen at the built-in breathing system. They think they're diving at 2 ATA. But they're not diving at 2 ATA dosage. They're diving at 2 ATA pressure. So the pressure of the chamber, the gauge reading on the chamber, the pounds per square inch, is reading around 15 psi. Now, yes, 15 psi gauge pressure is 2 ATA pressure, but what's the dosage? If we were using 100% oxygen and we didn't have any dilution from the bibs, yes, in that scenario, and only that scenario, would pressure and dosage be equal? But that's not the case. So in this particular situation, they're using an oxygen concentrator. And for the benefit of the doubt, the oxygen concentrator is delivering 95%. Now, 95% is a high specification for a concentrator. Most oxygen concentrators, after they've been used for a little bit, deliver somewhere between 93 and 94%. 95% is almost perfect performance from pressure swing absorption. You would see that on a new system, but I wouldn't expect to see it over time as the system aged. And that's coming from experience from somebody who's owned oxygen concentrators for well over a decade. Okay, so I get it, Laura. Pressure and dosage are not interchangeably. So let's talk here. So if my pressure is 2 ATA, but I'm only getting 95%. And again, I'm being generous here. The dosage math on that, so I take 2.0 and I multiply it by 95%. So that gives me a number of 1.9. So the maximum dosage that's being delivered based on the FO2 is not 2.0 dosage. Yes, 2.0 pressure, but 2.0 dosage is 1.9. But wait. In this particular scenario, they're using a medium concentration mask. Medium concentration masks are 0.5 FO2 at bibs. So each one of these numbers has an amount that they deliver. There's a dilution rate based on how the mask seals on the face. This mask counts as 99%. This mask seals solid on the face, and essentially we have almost no leakage with this mask. So in this particular situation, we're able to deliver a higher FO2 than we would with this mask. And that might matter depending on what we're trying to do here. The three most important things in hyperbaric oxygen therapy are dosage, dosage, and dosage. Many of these chemical reactions, many of these switches in the body continue to clinically demonstrate that they are highly dosage dependent. And the idea that these chemical reactions are not dosage dependent is really just not supported clinically. The problem with hyperbaric studies is many of the studies are only done at one dosage, and there isn't enough research to go back and follow up. A really great example of that was the stem cell mobilization study that was done by University of Pennsylvania in 2000. Now, that study demonstrated that hyperbaric oxygen therapy mobilizes stem cells at about 800%. And that particular group was treated at a dosage, not a pressure, of 2.0 ATA PO2 at bibs. Well, about 14 years later, they went back and did another study and said, well, we know that the stem cells mobilize, but is there a dosage that's better? And they went and studied different dosages and found out that, wow, if the goal is just to mobilize stem cells and we're not interested in any other chemical reaction and we want to maximize the stem cell mobilization chemical reaction with the increased partial pressure of oxygen, then this is the dosage that happens best at. And interestingly enough, the anti-hyperbaric protocol for stem cell implantation was adjusted in only a few months after the publish of the follow-up study that was done in 2014. So in many of these cases, when they go back and look, all of the data on traumatic brain injury is another perfect example of just how dosage dependent these mechanisms are. Now, if you're trying to heal the brain and you're treating the brain too high, the body engages a protective mechanism. It affects glucose metabolism. And if the brain is creating chemical reactions to try and protect itself from the increased in antioxidant utilization, it's not doing neurological repair as well. And this was some of the pivotal data that came out of the International Hyperbaric Medical Foundation and Association. Hi, Merle. Hi. Thank you so much for saying hi and joining us this evening. I hope I'm giving you good info. So this was one of the pivotal information on the neurological data. And we had a few decades of wound care, and we weren't seeing the neurological repair in the data model. And the reason is because healing a foot is a very, very different dosage than healing a brain. So this is another example where now if we treated this brain injury at a higher dosage, do we hurt the person? Anecdotally speaking, I would say no. I have never seen a case where there was negative damage that you could diagnose. But did they have a positive experience? Did they reach their outcome? No, not necessarily. So this is where dosage really, really important. So again, getting back to that scenario that I'm talking about here. So I use the example of 2 ATA of pressure. And then I said that pressure and dosage are not interchangeable. And we said the concentrator is only delivering about 95%. And again, I'm being generous there. So if you go ahead and do that math, you come in and you go, all right, that's 1.9. But wait. In this particular example, they were using a medium concentration mask, and the dosage variable for medium concentration mask is 0.5. So here's how the chamber operator math goes. 1.9, 50% of that. So now the dosage of oxygen is 0.95. Not 2.0 ATA, not even 1.5 ATA. The dosage of oxygen in this scenario is 0.95. But wait, I'm still not done. In this example, the concentrator that the person is using is only delivering 10 liters a minute. Well, RMV, respiratory minute volume, for this particular mask is about 15 to 18 liters. So we're not supplying enough volume. We're not supplying enough RMV in this scenario. So when you calculate all those numbers together and you say, wow, if we take all of that into account, and now we take the dilution and the leakage that's coming in because the oxygen is not being administered properly, what's the dosage? Ready for this? The dosage is 0.63. Not 2.0, not 1.9, not even 1.5 ATA PO2 at bibs. The dosage is 0.63. Do you know what your dosage of oxygen right now is? 0.21. Every one of you listening, unless you're in an airplane or a saturation diver and you're living at depth, and hey guys, if you're working hard, great to see you. That's tough stuff. If you're on the surface, if you're sitting in your room, if you're breathing regular air, your dosage is 0.21. So now let's put this in perspective. This scenario, this particular person is going to the non-ANDI certified hyperbaric facility with oxygen being administered by an untrained, uncertified, ignorant operator. They don't even know what they don't know. and they think that they're delivering 2.0 ATA partial pressure of oxygen, and in fact, they're actually delivering 0.63. That's a very, very different thing. If we were trying to kill a pathogen here, we're really not doing what we're supposed to do. Clinically speaking, that bactericidal switch doesn't even turn on until about 1.9 ATA. So would I ever expect this person with a pathogen, with an infection, to get better? No, we haven't created the opportunity for efficacy. But wait, I'm still not done. Because hyperbaric oxygen therapy, when it's done properly, even if it's not bactericidal, right? Even if we're not up at the higher dosages, and why we want to be there is one of the reasons why you need a personalized diet plan. But even if we're not up at the top dosages, it's still bacteriostatic, meaning it doesn't feed anaerobes, it doesn't make stuff grow. It's not killing it, but it's not making it grow. But you know what is not bacteriostatic? Nitrogen. And most of these bad guys are what we call anaerobic. That means they don't like oxygen. In fact, they prefer lower oxygen environments, like if we were dousing the person with nitrogen. Now, some of these concepts are a little heavy right now. And if you're sitting here going, wow, this is some heavy stuff, I really want to understand this, then I encourage you to take one of our Andy certified chamber operator programs, get some real information, and learn how to calculate dosage. You can go to andyhq.com and you'll see a list of courses. Our next upcoming chamber operator course is May 15th, 16th, 22nd, and 23rd. So it's 4 evenings, and that's starting on May 15th. And if you're going, wow, this information is really interested, and I really want to understand this, and I really want to be able to offer this to my clients, I really want to be able to make sure that I'm operating my home system. Maybe you have interest in a career in hyperbaric medicine. This is the absolute best way to get that information. I encourage you to reach out to me as well. Our phone number right there, 954-749-9998. Again, you can reach out to Andy directly. So finishing up with this discussion, partial pressure calculations, right? So if the total pressure is 2.0 and the dosage of oxygen is 0.63, what's everything else? So if you subtract the partial pressure of oxygen from the total pressure, you get another value of 1.37. 1.37 plus 0.63 equal 2.0. 2.0 is the total pressure. It is not the total dosage. The dosage of oxygen is 0.63, and the dosage of nitrogen is 1.37. Can we really call it hyperbaric oxygen therapy if we're delivering 1.37 ATA of nitrogen and only 0.63 of oxygen? And this, by the way, is the most important, biggest difference of why you want an Andy certified chamber operator. I joke all the time that the hyperbaric industry has a lousy reputation, that it works very, very hard to earn. And this is a good example why. Now, ignorance and malice to you as the end user, same difference. If we needed a partial pressure of 2.0 and we only delivered a partial pressure of 0.63 and we gave 1.37 of something else, nitrogen, are you surprised that the person didn't get better? Are you surprised that you didn't get better? And in some cases, 1.3 ATA of nitrogen, 1.37 using this example, is enough to shift negative bacteria in the gut and bloom anaerobes. I've done multiple consults on people that were sensitive to serotonin shifts. And because of improper administration of what they thought was hyperbaric oxygen, in fact, they weren't properly using the oxygen source, they ended up getting worse. So breathing nitrogen is not the same as breathing a clinical level of oxygen. And it's a really, really big difference. So again, the three most important things in hyperbaric medicine are dosage, dosage, and dosage. And an ANDI certified chamber operator is trained specifically to handle this. If the mask isn't fitting you well and we change you to another mask so it fits you better, don't worry, we've done the math. If we see you collapsing the breathing bag, don't worry, we'll make an adjustment to make sure you have enough RMV. What dosage do we even need to work with? Well, ANDI certified hyperbaric facilities are utilizing the ANDI facility protocols. That's based on almost 30 years of practical application of hyperbaric oxygen therapy. There really is a difference. So if by some chance you're listening to this and you're thinking about doing hyperbaric oxygen therapy, please, I encourage you, reach out to our facility. Even if you're not local to us, we do telehealth all over the world. And we want to do a consult with you. We want to find out how we can make you happy. And we want to put together a personalized program, a personalized dive plan to create the absolute best opportunity for efficacy, to give it the best chance the first time. And most importantly, not cause any harm, not use more nitrogen than oxygen. It's not hyperbaric oxygen therapy if the person is breathing a higher partial pressure of nitrogen. Nitrogen is biochemically inert, but it is not biophysically inert. The mechanism of DCI, decompression sickness, is caused by nitrogen. Anaerobes, bad bacteria in the gut, are bloomed by nitrogen. Lyme bacteria is fed by nitrogen. It likes it. It increases the protein coating camouflage. Treating someone with a complex infection like Lyme disease with nitrogen is not a neutral. And unfortunately, because it's really hard to hurt somebody with a hyperbaric chamber, that doesn't necessarily mean that we're doing the absolute best. There really is an ANDI difference. There really is a hyperbarics RX difference. And I look forward to creating the best opportunity for efficacy with you. So I hope this was a good deep dive. I hope I gave you some great information. We've got some amazing dive packages. We've got amazing wellness programs. We've got incredible things that we can offer. I also want to make a point that this is the last day. This is the last chance to get into our Spring Into Detox special. We are doing 3 detox foot baths for $99. If you've never done a detox foot bath, it's amazing. It's highly complementary to hyperbaric oxygen therapy, and we'd love for you guys to come out and join us. This special goes until the end of the month, but you have up to a year to use them. So make sure you take advantage of this special again. So it was amazing seeing you this evening. My name is Laura Betts. Again, we do Facebook Lives every Monday night, and it's just been amazing sharing all of this information with you. So I look forward to seeing you next Monday at 6 o'clock. Again, thank you so much for coming out and joining us this evening. Thank you again, everybody. Thanks, Merle. Bye-bye, everybody. Have a great night.